Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome. I'll call the regular council meeting Tuesday, January 6, 2025 to order at 6 p.m. We have the item 2.1, January 6 agenda. Are there any edits to the agenda? Okay, if there's no edits, can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Councillor Kosh, go ahead.
I move that the January 6th, 2026 agenda be accepted as prepared.
Okay, is there anybody opposed? That's motion carried. Item 3.1, December 16th, 2025, regular council meeting. Are there any edits to the minutes?
Through the chair.
Councillor Knight.
Yeah, if we could just adjust the council, seems to me maybe the last past council. There's just the names that have to be changed from the present in the documentation.
Okay, great. Would you like to make the motion with the amendment?
Yep. I move that the minutes of the December 16th, 2026 regular council meetings be accepted with the revisions of the councilors from the past and the present ones.
Okay, is there anybody opposed? Okay, that's motion carried. Here we have a delegation, a couple of delegations tonight, and we're going to start with the Crossfield Municipal Library 2025 update and 2026 budget. And I'll introduce Chairperson Joe Tennant.
Thank you. And I'll just introduce who else is with us. I've got Jennifer Warren, who is the library manager. Sherry Lynn King had a family emergency, so isn't able to attend. Brenda Rosvik, who is our current treasurer, and Leanne St. Onge, who is our incoming treasurer. And I'm going to have Jennifer do the presentation.
So since there's some newer people here, we thought it would be beneficial to just do a little bit of a background. So we're going to start with the library board. The Municipal Library Board, let's go forward a little, is the legal entity, that manages and controls the library. Its formation is defined by the Libraries Act, which it's incorporated under. This group of volunteers is very dedicated, and I'm super proud to work for them. They participate in library programs, they take board-oriented educational opportunities, and even show up for other local groups, volunteering for such things as the Ag Society's Pancake Breakfast, which you can see the picture. Marigold Library System offers us an incredibly valuable partnership. The approximate $40,000 a year investment grants us access to over 10 times that value in services for the library, board, staff, and patrons. I would especially draw your attention to the key services listed at the bottom of the slide. These high-value services allow small libraries to keep up with best practices and technology to provide modern and accessible library services. We've had some big changes this past year with the removal of overdue fines, reimagining our Library of Things collection, and implementing our new logo. It's been fun to create a recognizable brand and also coming up with an effective way to showcase the Library of Things. Most of those things are stored in our basement, so people don't know that we have them. So we've changed it to make it more presentable. But the most rewarding thing has been seeing the impact of going fine-free. We see the relief on moms' faces when they bring a huge stack of picture books back, afraid that it's going to cost them $10, and they just are so relieved. Others tell us that they wouldn't get a library card if it wasn't free. So we know we made the right call. This infographic is based on the Government of Alberta. We submit our statistics to them. And PLSB is the branch, Public Library Services branch. And this graphic is an adaptation of an infographic that they create from the information we submit to them. The next few slides will be current numbers from 2025. These statistics are not quite the full year. It's to the end of November. We've seen an increase pretty much across the board. The only notable lesser thing I would mention is that in 2025, we noticed less reference and technology questions, but I actually think we attribute that to people becoming more familiar with the technology and using the library catalog. So I think that's a win. The addition of more summer programs and monthly adult programs resulted in a 13%, well, so far to those numbers, increase in program attendance. About 15% of residents are library card holders, which is pretty typical when compared to other communities. But if you consider that a lot of families share a card, I think our reach is much more substantial. Who wants to manage 10 kids than themselves? Our plan of service from 2022 to 25. Overall, we believe that we have effectively met our goals for that plan of service. We have welcomed more people to our spaces, both in person and online. We offered collections, programs, and other opportunities for library visitors to learn as well as inspire creativity, intentionally designing programs that offer both components. We did a felting class where we also invited a spinning lady to bring her spinning wheel so they could observe how the threads are made, which was kind of cool. Over the next, Over the next few months, we will be busy gathering community feedback to inform our next plan of service. We are exploring opportunities with other local organizations to directly interact with Crossfield residents. We will also be referencing recent town surveys and reports for further information, such as the social needs assessment from 2022. Statistics are a valuable resource to consider in identifying service priority. Great. We stayed on budget this past year, and surplus funds will be used to match a technology grant applied for by Anne Grover Library Society. They're our friends of the library. We will be able to cover expenses for the first few months of 2026 before municipal and provincial funds come in. Revenue sources, the casino, again, accounts for most of our revenue, but we have seen significant increases to rental income, fundraising, and donations in 2025. And why we're here, budget 2026. In 2026, we added small increases to salaries, mostly because I'll be moving to full-time. Administrative and building costs, which are anticipated to be offset again by fundraising, donations, and service revenue, especially room rentals. We are getting more and more regular rentals, which is really helpful. We are not requesting additional town funding for 2026, but we do anticipate the need for an increase in 2027 as we implement our next plan of service to better serve Crossfield residents. We're looking forward to collaborating with our Marigold rep from council. Luke, I think that's you again. Yeah, and Craig, I think you're the alternate.
I am.
So that's cool. And I want to learn how to support our common goals. And from there, I think Joe wanted to mention something.
I just wanted to say that again, as we have consistently over several years now, we focus on how we can bring money in to help support the needs of the community and yet still provide lots of programs that are either really free or really cost effective for families that might be struggling. So we continue to focus on that and find, continue to look for ways that we can improve on that. So that's really our goal again for the next year. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, does anybody have questions for the library? Deputy Mayor.
Through the chair. Question I have, you talked about gathering information, so how you can, make programs better or increase programming. So how do you accomplish gathering of your information, you use different methods, right? So maybe you can explain how you gather that information.
Because we're partnering with FCSS for a lot of our funding, we regularly get feedback from participants and collect that and consider that in programming. As far as the plan of service, we do plan on attending a few different events, looking at Crossfield Wellness Network's Feast and Focused event, as well as, what's the other one? Oh, Family Day Skate. We're hoping to set up a little table and get some feedback. Other than that, we also want to invite some people from the community into the library to have some sort of informal gathering to really sort that out we really want to be informed for our next plan of service. The last one was created during the pandemic.
Mm.
So it was sort of a throwaway plan. Yeah, so we'll be looking at really connecting to get that information.
Plus, we get feedback from the people coming into the library as well as to what it is that they would like to see as well.
So mine's just kind of a two-part question there.
Sure.
First part was excellent. Thank you for the information. So after you get all the information, what do you do with it? And how do you share that information with not only the public that, you've come up with some new ideas, different ways to do some different programming, and how do you share that with the public and, other stakeholders like ourselves
Mhm.
or administration,
Okay. Let's see. So Marigold recommends a certain plannings for strategic results book to create your plan of service. So once we get the feedback, we use that to choose service priorities. And they're sort of designated and we just work from there. Once the plan is created, we have our priorities and then we make our goals based on those. And then we will put it into the website and, the town will also get a copy of our plan of service. And I think it'll be more pushed this time and make better awareness. That's the goal anyway.
fantastic. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, Counselor Knight.
Just a comment on the fine free in 2025.
Mhm.
So if someone doesn't bring a book back or an item that they've rented, does that mean their membership was in suspension or hold, or what happens there?
That's different. The fine fee is just overdue
Okay,
funds.
gotcha. Fair enough. Okay, thanks.
And just as a matter of interest, we do have a meeting tomorrow night. We're starting to work on our plan of service, so we're already knee deep into it.
You put me on the spot, Justin.
I'm sorry, but sometimes when I ask the questions, it's more, I may know some of the answers, but maybe our public that are, watching
Absolutely.
or listening to us, that maybe they need to, be a little more informed and how important our library is to our town. So
Coming up with survey of some.
Oh, yes, there'll be another
Yeah.
electronic
Mm.
sort of survey.
Always well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yes,
Where to find us.
I'll fill out 5.
I know my wife uses the service, right? She,
Oh, good.
so
Okay, any other questions from the rest of council?
To the chair.
Counselor Benson.
So do we do any advertising? Because like I've used that boardroom and I see some of the other facilities there. And like, to me, it looks like they're probably one of the better places, the gathering places in town. So do we do any advertising or in order to do
Their
that? Or
website.
What are your thoughts on that?
We do. It's on the website and I advertise mostly, honestly, it's program focused.
Mm.
We really do push our programs. And if you come to our Facebook page, you can see the room rental information on the website, pictures as well of the spaces. Going forward, we do hope to incorporate more advertising in that area, but we have to be careful because our priority is programming, not renting space to the community. Although that's great too.
Great. Are there any other questions? Okay, I don't have any questions, but the library is really valued here in Crossfield. You provide a lot of services for all ages for our residents and outside of Crossfield as well. So I really appreciate the work that all of you do. Thank you for that and keep up the good work. And I know that you guys will come up with some extra special events and other things this year. So thank you. Okay, no other questions. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Counselor Knight,
I move that the Crossfield Municipal Library 2025 update and 2026 budget be accepted as information.
okay, is there anybody opposed? And that's council, motion carried. Okay, stay right there. Item 4.2, Crossfield Municipal Library Board Member Reappointment. Chairperson Joe Tennant.
Yep, for Sherilyn King for another 3 years. She apologizes that she isn't able to be here tonight. She did have a family emergency, and so I spoke to Mayor Harris just before the meeting to see if that wanted to be postponed or if you were okay to go ahead and reappoint her for another 3 years. She is the vice chair, so.
I think that we'd be okay to move ahead. I don't
Okay.
think we want to be the cog in anybody's wheel.
Thank you.
So, any questions about Sherilyn that maybe Chairperson Tennant can answer? Only the tough questions.
Yeah, that I can't answer.
No, I think we're familiar with Sherilyn. At least I think most of us are, and just let her know that we appreciate her volunteering again
Okay,
and helping you guys out.
thank you.
Any questions? Okay, who'd like to make a motion?
Through the chair. Go ahead, ladies first.
I move that council reappoint Sherilyn King as a library board trustee for a 3-year term effective November 1st, 2025, with the term expiring November 1st, 2028.
Is there anybody opposed? And that's motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have item 4.3, Eco Growth Presentation, Joel Christie, President and CEO. And his entourage. So Joel, maybe just introduce everybody when you come up. That'd be great. Yes.
Okay, it's that sensitive, is it?
Yeah, it's just so that everyone else at home that's listening can hear you.
Okay. Sure.
So if you guys just kind of share the mic around when you're
I will.
speaking, that'd be great.
Okay, I'd like to introduce Kim. Well, Kim's on this side.
It's a good name.
It is a good name.
Not bad.
Yes. Kim Caron, he's our founder and the chair of our board for Eco Growth. And on my left is Glenn Smith. He's our VP of Business Development. And I'm Joel. I'm the president CEO. And we do have a presentation that Kim will do.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to come and present to you. I've taken what normally takes half an hour and made it 5 minutes. So it's going to be brief, but I think we'll get to the point. We were recently, we won a military contest for waste avoidance and waste to energy. And we're now looking to bring that technology to the civilian market. And we have received an ERA grant. We've been approved, and now we're looking to do some due diligence and put things together. So we're looking to potentially partner with Crossfield on a organics avoidance or landfill avoidance. And it works well in Crossfield for a couple of different reasons. And one is you don't currently have an organics program, so everything goes to landfill. And to qualify for carbon offsets under the Alberta Tier program, you have to have had at least 3 years of bad practice, if you will. So putting your organics in landfill is considered bad practice. And based on 1,350 households, we anticipate you're producing 500,000 kilos of organic waste in your households per year. And when that goes into landfill, it decomposes anaerobically into methane. And methane is public enemy #1. And that will produce roughly 35,000 kilograms of methane. So that's the why. And why eco-growth? We're not a garbage company. We're a technology company. We focus primarily on landfill avoidance and upcycling of waste to clean energy. So that's our technologies. And essentially what we do is we take organic waste, we take the water out of it, we turn it into a powdery biomass material. Glenn, I think you have a little
Show and tell.
Yes.
Please.
I'm excited. to see
I
it.
brought some, I bought some G7 food waste with me today. So we dehydrated all the food waste from G7 here this spring. We turned it into a dry fiber, like that.
He wants to pick out which one is Trump's.
I'm saving this till the next G7. And then we briquette.
That's Trump's right there.
We turn these into briquettes and we use these for a variety of purposes. Energy.
Mhm.
And, instead of going to landfill, turn it directly back.
So one of the advantages we have in this space is one is we do have the ERA grant, and we're also certified already with Alberta government through the CSA to operate in the carbon offset market. So we have the ability now to convert landfill avoided material to carbon offsets. And here's a little bit of a economic overview, if you will. So I use $10 a month per household as a placeholder. Currently, Cochrane and Nanton, they offer this service to the residents at $15 a month. I use $10. And as of December 25th, the tier market, so that's the Alberta carbon offset market price, was $25 a metric ton. It's anticipated that roughly 70% of your waste now is organic. So if you put this plan into place, you would be reducing your waste stream currently by 70%. And we're anticipating you would find some savings there. I'm not too sure how your contracts are written. So to put these things to number, using a 87-time global warming potential of methane, which is what the federal government is leaning towards, that's 3,000 metric tons of CO2 reduced at $25 a metric ton. That's a carbon offset of just over $75,000. So I'll put this into more perspective. At $10 a month, 1,350 households, that's $162,000. If you subtract the carbon offset, that's $85,000 or $5.30 per household. Now, to put it in perspective, the Canadian government's federal carbon tax is at $110 a ton, expecting to go up. So if we put that in perspective, we put $110 into the model. Now, this is a negative cost to the households of Crossfield to the tune of just over $16 per household per month in a negative cost. So that's kind of the what ifs. Now, what is the cost to do nothing? So right now it's easier to do nothing, just keep doing what you're doing. December 16th of this year, of 2025, Ottawa released a huge methane initiative. And when you read it, it's mostly oil and gas, but right at the end, they put in landfills. And landfill is on the target. And just to put it in perspective, anything organic going to landfill starting in 2026, and they'll roll this out over the next 15 years, that waste has to be put into a situation where the methane produced is captured, monitored and captured. What that means is there's going to be a huge cost coming to every community in Canada to comply with this. And what we're finding with the new satellite technology, circulating the earth. Methane is way bigger of a problem from landfills than what the models are telling us. So the world is really focusing on landfill methane abatement, and EcoGrowth is a world leader in that sphere. So what we're looking to do is to set up a civilian demonstration, and Crossfield would be a good candidate for us. So what is our ask? Our ask is $10 a month per household per month, and access to some space, the transfer station or wherever. And then we would add some added value. You've got some waste that's currently dropped off at the transfer station that we would look after. Now, the $10 per month, you would probably save that in the reduced waste costs now, because we're going to reduce it by 70%. And according to my research, the residents are paying roughly $32 every 2 months. So $15, $16 a month. So it could probably work out cost neutral. But once we start funneling the carbon offsets, then we're into the cost savings. Now, when we put this into the ERA format, there will be costs that will be covered through the program. I'm not exactly sure what costs are going to be covered, but that's part of the ERA. It's a 50% matching program. And we have a budget of 8.4 million. So 4.2 million in matching grant. This is only part of the overall project, but it brings an organic solution that the whole world can actually come in view. And that's the presentation.
Great, thank you. Questions?
I got lots of questions.
Yeah.
So through the chair, would you like to start?
Through the chair. So you said there's other municipalities doing this program?
Mhm.
Which ones?
Calgary has a curbside. Cochrane has a curbside. Airdrie has a curbside. Nanton for sure.
Okay.
And then Edmonton. I mean, it's
What's the compliance like for people complying with the program?
well, Calgary is a Calgary-based initiative.
Okay. From you guys?
What's that?
It's different. It's a different program than you.
We're not part of the. We're not telling you have to do this, right? As soon as somebody tells you you have to do it, you no longer qualify for the carbon offset, right? That's the key, and that's why Crossfield fits into it. As soon as you mandate you cannot put organics in landfill, then the carbon offset program doesn't work for you because you can't put it there anyways. So this now is a voluntary project if you decided.
So what's the compliance with people following the composting part of it is what, or the putting the right things in the cans, I guess is what I was.
Garbage in, garbage out, I guess. You hope people will do the right thing. If you don't give them the opportunity to do the right thing, they won't. But will there be 100% compliance? I doubt it.
Can I keep asking?
Yeah. You can
So,
go.
and there's no facility involved in this? Like you just don't have a facility that you're,
So we do in Calgary,
okay,
right? But what we're trying to do is bring a modular approach. So our military technology was containerized.
okay,
So we could deploy the containers anywhere.
at our transfer site.
Correct. That's the idea. Keep the cost low.
And who pays for the cans, the green can or whatever? Is
Well,
is it
typically you would, right?
the town or the residents?
Well, the same thing, I guess. However, we do have access to containers on wheels that could be used. Another community in the area has a overabundance, so there would be enough there to cut that cost to zero. And if there was a cost, we'd put it into the program.
Okay.
Okay, who's next?
To the chair.
Counselor Benson.
So how much room would you require in order to do this? Would you be able to fit this on the existing transfer site and then it would operate as it does today?
So right now, we think we can do it in two 40-foot sea cans, side by side.
And then how much room do you need around them?
Less that footprint again. You'd have to have a truck come in to drop off. We would scoop it through our, into our system, our technology. And what comes out would be the biomass material. This is literally 80% reduced in size and weight. But the key is it's biologically inactive, which means there's no odors. It's not going to create methane. It's not going to decay. So we can stockpile it if we had to, but we wouldn't. We would turn it into an energy source and we would take it and use it for energy.
So do you have any methane during this process or is it methane free?
That's the key. We prevent methane from occurring.
Then what does it look like from the resident's point of view in your mind? What does that look like now?
So they would have another can that they would take to the end of the driveway and another waste stream to deal with. So it's more work for the residents for sure. But once it's gone, it's
So what goes into this can, the magic can?
anything that's organic, anything that derives from a plant or an animal. Card,
And
pizza
so-
box, chicken wings, whatever. It's,
And so what about plastics? Can you put plastics in there?
no, so plastics go in a different stream. So they either go in your blue bin recycling now, or it goes into your landfill.
Yeah, these are
But that-
organics, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that doesn't contribute to methane. Plastics are a problem. They break down to the microplastics, but they do not create methane.
And so in the winter, when, if you're putting in wet stuff, does this come out of the bin? Like, because
Well-
most of the stuff today is bagged.
So you'd have a compostable bag, then the bag would fall in.
And so would those be supplied or would the residents have to get those?
Well, I think they could be made available. I mean, I live in Cochrane and we have a green bin and it's not an issue.
In Calgary's case, do they actually do something with it?
They don't provide bags. Nobody provides.
But the actual product that comes out, like the actual stuff that's in the bin, do they compost that or do they put it in the landfill?
Okay, so
That's,
Glenn, you want to answer this? So, okay, well, I can answer it. This is a little bit politically sensitive, but Calgary does have a large compost facility, $168 million facility, of which they're adding another $85 million expansion. And it all goes there, including Cochrane. Goes through this elaborate process to turn it into a compost. And when it comes out of that process, we understand it goes to landfill. Which defeats the whole purpose. What we do is we take it beyond compost to a completely dehydrated material, right? It does work well going back to soil, but when you use it as an energy source, the emissions are considered carbon neutral. So we actually unlock another carbon offset on the other side of the equation when we use it to heat buildings or heat water or whatever.
So you may want to talk about the boilers that we could put, maybe I'll just talk for a sec. So we also have the boilers that'll burn this, and you could put the boilers wherever you want, like heating the rink, whatever, and then use our heat exchanger to heat the rink, for example, using the biomass. So it could all stay within the town, but that's an extra thing that we're doing. So we have a proposal where we put boilers wherever they want, and then we take these briquettes and fill them in the hopper so that the boiler can do. And we can also do what do you call them? With the wood and the pellets. We could also do pellets as well.
Yeah. So we the energy recovery side is a different
Yeah.
part of the business. We didn't really want to bring it up today because it's really more about landfill avoidance and methane avoidance. But we have a use for this, and this would be something that maybe we would pitch the town. Like we can lower your energy costs by using your own waste that's been upcycled to a biomass feedstock. So full transparency, I own industrial laundries across Canada, and this is how we heat our industrial laundry water using biomass that's been derived, well, just that material. And we've been doing it for the better part of 8 years.
Okay, any other counselors with questions?
Through the chair.
Counselor Kosh.
So I understand like Calgary, Cochrane, Nanton, these companies or these towns all have green bins, but what municipalities are you guys providing services for?
Okay, so again, we're not garbage guys or waste guys. What we're trying to do is demonstrate our suite of technologies. We have our ERA grant, and we're looking for someone to help us to adopt at least the concept of not putting waste into landfill, and we would put that together. But our goal is not to have trucks running up and down the highway, but rather is to supply communities with the technology.
All right, so which municipalities currently run your bioreactors?
None.
None. Okay.
But you want to talk about, we have our dehydrators in different places. There's about 40 of them across Canada. And we can help pick up the biomass, for example, in restaurants and at a hotel. We're working with one hotel where we've calculated now, just their kitchen waste from the kitchen was enough biomass through our process to heat all their laundry, all their hot water for their laundry, their shower, and their outdoor swimming pool. And that's how much waste they were putting into the landfill. And now we're able to put it into one spot. So we're still working with that group, but we also have it in other places in Calgary and actually throughout Canada.
Yeah, so our military contest took 5 years to go through. We ended up demonstrating with SNC Lavalin as our competitor. We were able to reduce the military camp's solid waste by 92%, and we produced 200% of their camp needs in thermal energy. So we had to waste half of what we produced. We won the $2 million first prize. SNC Lavalin came second. So
You didn't pay off the right people.
what's that?
Okay, anyone else? Questions?
Through the chair.
Counselor Knight.
So that $10 a month, who does the pickups to and from? Is that still on the town's responsibility?
That would be your commitment. You would commit a letter and $10, and whatever savings derived would go back to you, right? But we need something to go back to the ERA to say, look, okay, town of Crossfield is interested in being a participant in this pilot, and that would be the worst case scenario. It wouldn't be any more than that. We would look after all the costs from the pickup from the residents, upcycling it to the energy, and
And that'd be a pickup once a month?
based on the analysis I've done, we could do a weekly pickup over 2 days, right? So, but again, I mean, the average household produces like nothing, 5 kilos of organic waste. So it might be every 2 weeks. I mean, this is something we would work with you on, the logistics piece, how often, how frequent.
Do you happen to know how many people roughly, there's some metrics out there about how much yearly compost is done, but I can tell you like on my block, I'd say 15 or 20 of the 40 or 50 houses have composting in it right now. Are there any metrics you guys hear from communities that are already completing the composting themselves right now?
Well, you know what? I would encourage you to compost everything properly and use the compost. That's a win-win. Unfortunately, 4 or 5 people out of I mean, it's a start. I get it. But at the end of the day, we're trying to achieve our climate goals, and methane is the primary culprit, and we're tackling methane.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
To the chair. So the town's commitment would be the $10 a month.
Mhm.
How long would like this contract, would there be a contract involved or what would be involved? from the
So
town's point of
the
view?
ERA are looking at us to say, look, after the pilot,
Mhm.
this should be self-sufficient and you would continue on, right? So I don't know if that's a 3-year or a 2-year commitment. I don't know. But these are the numbers.
We're gonna have to develop a business case with helping them to continue on. And that's what we're experimenting, working with you to find out that where that cutoff line is.
But we do know that Ottawa, this is on the radar. So it's could be now or it could be next year, but you'll be faced with having to do something.
Okay, well, I guess I have a couple questions as well,
Okay.
unless Councillor Brennan has a few.
I think a lot of them have been answered, but
Okay, we can fall back around if you like.
thank you.
So basically, this is a pilot. You're looking for the town to be a partner in a pilot project. So $10 per household is about $180,000 cost to our residents as a whole here in town. And then in addition to that, it would cost us $120,000 to equip the town with bins. So now we're looking at just the bins alone, that's just over 2% tax increase for the town. Yeah, you said the cost would be ours, so just a couple minutes ago. Yeah, and you guys stated in here you have an $8.4 million grant and 4.5 or 4.2 is part of that grant. But in an email to us, you mentioned a $12 million grant.
Yeah.
So which is it?
So it's 50%.
Okay,
And the matching grant is 4.2. So,
where's the 12 million come from?
well, it's from us. So we have different off takes. Remember that this is the smallest part of the project. We have a K-cup recycling line and then a plastics upcycling to the lumber. We're only talking about one specific part of the grant, which is the landfill methane.
Okay, so you have a grant for your whole company,
Correct.
and now you're piecing it out, saying you have 8.4 million money set aside, and half of that's a grant, and you matched it.
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to
Yep.
to make sure. I'm just curious too, and Councillor Nielsen touched on it. How do we know? Like, where's the verification for compliance? Do you guys have any paperwork on that from the government that this is coming down the road that you could share with us?
In terms of
You said there's compliance coming down the road from the government.
that's the federal government.
Yeah, well, it's still government.
So
But we would like to know if you could share any of that information with our administration.
Sure, 100%.
Great, that sounds good. And then overall, like what I'm missing from this presentation is really what is like your budget? What revenues are you making off of a grant and then $10 per resident from the town and us picking up the bins?
So how do we make money out of this?
Oh, you're going to make money out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I'm just looking for a bit of a breakdown because when I look at, that and I look at the cost to our residents now, I'm trying to find that happy balance of what would work.
So we make our money through the technology deployment. So that would, we would have half of that covered. And that the depreciation is built into that $10. Okay, so that's how we make money. And then we make money on the back end. So we take the finished material, the biomass, and that becomes a revenue source for us.
Okay. And just to Counselor Benson, if we were to enter into any type of an agreement, we would have to have a contract. I think my last question would be, this contract would be well over our $75,000 threshold. And the problem, or maybe not a problem, but what we run into is how do we meet our procurement rules within the town over that threshold? Because typically we would have to go out to tender on something like this.
Yep, and that's fine.
Okay.
So this is really a journey, and we're going to reduce your current waste stream by 70%. So I don't know if there's savings there, and with the ERA monies applied, I don't know if there's, if there's more than $75,000, additional expenditure required. I mean, this is something that we would. First step is you're interested. Okay. This is the worst case scenario. And if you're interested, you let us know. We go back to ERA and say, okay, look, they're going to supply the accounting people and ensure that this is a viable project after the pilot is done, which is part of the mandate. And you would have lots of time to back out. Say, okay, after we've gone through the due diligence, it's not for us, which is fine. At this point, we're just trying to lock in and get to the next step. And if you're not, and that's fine. If you're not interested, not a problem. I mean, this doesn't make or break the deal.
No,
But it'd be
not
nice
at
to
all.
have you.
I mean, there's no deal yet because I think we need some more information.
Yep. For
And I
sure.
think that you guys would more than likely need to work with our administration
Mhm.
to figure out, more detailed costs to the town. What does this look like? What are the offsets going to do? How much do we decrease? So how much is the town going to save on just all of the things that maybe we're missing just a little bit of information tonight, but I think that we could continue some conversations to figure out more down the road. I think everybody likes to, go a little bit green and people in town like that. Other people like it. So let's kind of flush it out a little bit and
Sure.
maybe see where it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah,
Okay?
we're not expecting you to say, yeah, we're all in.
Right.
We're
Perfect.
we're expecting you to say, yeah, that'd be a nice project. Let's take a deeper dive into it.
Before, I don't think we have any other questions, but I'm just curious if administration has any questions or any comments. You guys are all right? Okay. Okay, well, there's no
Well,
further questions. Thank you for your presentation. and
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. It's nice to meet all of you. It can be. All right.
Okay.
Okay, who would like to make a motion? Counselor Tosh.
I move that the eco growth's presentation be accepted as information.
Okay, is there anybody opposed? Okay, that's motion carried. All right, thanks. Let us know when you guys are up and running out there and we can come out for a tour or something. Is it? Great. Yeah, that'd be great. Not tomorrow, but I would like to come out. I have another job,
You got my
I do. All right,
call set up.
great. Thanks, Joel. Okay. We're gonna move to item number 6, counselor's business. I'm just pulling up my, did I miss one?
Yep.
Sorry.
5.1.
Too many notes on my paper.
Thought you were just doodling.
No, item 5.1, sorry, asset management program update and 2026 work plan operations with Director Steve Altina and Ethan Hahn, our asset management.
Just bear with us, council. It's got a quick presentation tonight.
I should have used my notepad.
Can't fit it all on your hand.
Ethan, you thought you were getting off lucky?
All right, good evening, council. I'm Steve Altina, Director of Infrastructure Community Growth. I'm here to present item 5.1 on page 35 of your agenda packages. I'd also like to introduce Ethan Hahn, who joined us in April last year. I don't believe council's met him yet. He's the town's asset management and GIS coordinator. In the past kind of, I guess, 9-ish, 10 months now, Ethan and one of our summer students over the summer been hard at work building the foundation for the town's asset management program, and we're pretty happy to provide council with an update on that program tonight. So what is asset management? So asset management is a structured approach to managing municipal infrastructure so the town can deliver reliable, safe, and cost-effective services. It involves understanding what assets exist, what condition they're in and how they're performing, and what funding will be required to maintain or replace them in the future. This is a process of evaluating and making decisions about town infrastructure to maximize value and minimize risk while providing sustainable and beneficial services to the community. So in town of Crossfield, we do have a policy. So the implementation of the asset management program is guided by council policy 2022-05. Why does asset management matter? So many of Crossfield's assets were installed decades ago and are now approaching end of life, similar to many communities. A lot of the infrastructure here in Western Canada was certainly built in the 60s and 70s and early 80s on a large scale. So you'll find this in in Calgary and in Red Deer and the small towns and everything. And it's, they're starting to approach their end of life. So effective asset management helps the town plan proactively rather than reactively, reduce service risks, support long-term financial sustainability, and strengthen grant applications. A lot of our federal grant applications do look for asset management programs in place, and they ask us kind of what level of sophistication we are at with asset management. So bolstering those programs is really helpful for those grant applications. Enables council to make more informed decisions based on accurate data and ensure that the necessary funding and resources are in place to effectively maintain and replace infrastructure when needed. What does asset management involve? Asset management typically includes creating an accurate and complete inventory of the town's assets, which Ethan and our summer student has been hard at work doing. We have a small GPS unit, and we've been out collecting data on signs, pavement markings, curb stops, working with our engineers on the GIS information for water and sanitary mains and stormwater mains, and bringing it all together under one database. Also includes assessing age, condition, and remaining life and the risk of those assets. Assessing valuation of the assets. It's important to understand replacement costs as part of the life cycle renewal. Also forecasting the long-term renewal needs and the costs and identifying funding gaps. And then developing clear renewal maintenance plans. So what have we done so far? So administration made significant progress in 2025 toward establishing Crossfield's Asset Management Foundation. Like I said, we've been doing a lot of work on asset inventory. The initial focus has been on water mains, sanitary mains, and storm mains, as well as road safety components such as traffic signs, and as well as park infrastructure such as playground equipment, benches, waste receptacles, and others. A brief summary of the work completed to date is kind of the initial inventories and condition assessment. We've consolidated and standardized GIS data sets for water, sanitary, storm, and hydrants, and we're working to do some truthing and validation of those data sets. We've developed a new town base map, and we're working to enable web mapping for staff and for the public. And I'll show a little bit of a demonstration a little bit later for council at the end of the presentation. And we're working to develop draft age profiles, life cycle stages, and condition estimates for water, sanitary, and storm systems. So I'll kind of touch on this already, but examples of some work that we did in 2025. We did a GPS-based traffic sign inventory in the town. That supports safety and renewal planning just for our traffic signs in town. We've improved our GIS accuracy for water, sanitary, storm, and hydrants. This came into play after that house fire on Saskatchewan Street. City of Airdrie actually asked for our data set. So luckily we had Ethan on board and he validated our data set and we got it over to the City of Airdrie. And now when they respond to a call in our community, they can pull up our hydrant data set as well. And so before they even get here, they know where our hydrants are. They don't have to get out of the truck and ask our crews where the hydrants are. So it feeds into a lot of different aspects of the town. Yeah, and then working on some early renewal forecasts, and we're working to develop a state of infrastructure report. We'd like to present something like that to council kind of Q3, Q4 this year. It'll still be pretty early days. We still have a lot of condition assessments to do, which will take a number of years. But we'd like to present kind of a preliminary initial kind of state of infrastructure report for the town to council later on this year. So just kind of an example, we've been working on a data set such as our sanitary pipeline, which you can see behind us. It's a little small, probably, but you can see kind of every line in pink there is existing sanitary lines in town, and then all the green ones are future lines. So looking ahead into the future as well for what assets we're going to take on with new development. Not all the future lines are shown, obviously. Iron Landing looks a little sparse there, but you can see most of the lines in Hawks Landing and most of the future lines out in Vista Crossing there. And this information we get from our development partners and from when we do area structure plans and those kind of studies. Ethan's been working on some dashboards regarding asset classes and giving a quick overview of each asset class. These are still in draft format. We're still working to iron out some bugs and collect our data and validate the data. This is kind of what it would kind of look like. We can assess, text a bit small, but that top blue one there is kind of our midlife sanitary assets. So 41 to 60 years old. We have about 14.5 kilometers of those assets in town. We're planning for about another 12.9 kilometers worth of sanitary assets in the near future. New assets represent about 10 kilometers of sanitary infrastructure. Early life, kind of 21 to 40 years. We have about 7.5 kilometers of that. And then kind of late life, we have a couple really oldies, about 220 meters, about 60 to 80 years old in terms of sanitary. The town's been done a really good job since 2017, scoping the sanitary lines and replacing sanitary lines. That program will actually conclude this year with the replacement of Lot Avenue, which council approved in the budget late last year. And then we'll be back to doing condition assessments again and scoping new sanitary lines or other sanitary lines that were in fair condition 9 years ago may have moved to that poor condition rating. So this pie chart here, I think, is mostly based on age, the age profile right now for the condition. We also look at the pipe material over time. Different pipes degrade differently over time. And so we see different failures depending on the pipe material as well. So kind of bring it all together, age, condition, pipe materials, we can start to try and look at, where should we renew, where should we replace? Perhaps there's an older pipe, but it's a material that doesn't often break. Maybe that can wait. Maybe there's a newer pipe that has material that's been problematic in the past. Maybe that can be renewed, right? So taking a strategic look at where we should be renewing our assets. So very similar on the water side of things, all our water mains through town. Still working to validate some of this data set. I don't believe we had as much information on the future water mains, but still looking to add to that data set. Very similar dashboard, although I believe this says sanitary mains. So I think we might have put the wrong dashboard on there, but very similar data set, looking at the age and the type of those water mains. Water mains are harder. We can't necessarily run a camera down the water mains as easily. You can pig them, basically send sensors down the mains and do some other things with the mains. A lot of communities just base their water main replacement on age and breakage history. So again, we have old asbestos concrete pipe. It doesn't break too often, but it's quite old. Whereas we have some of our newer pipes that actually break more often. So we can proactively plan around, breaks and what infrastructure should be renewed. Our storm system is a little bit less well-defined in Crossfield. A lot of the older areas don't have an underground storm system. Our newer areas in Sunset, Vista and Iron Landing, of course, have an underground storm system and along Railway Street. We have a number of culverts throughout town, which are little blurry specks you can see on the map. So similar thing, looking at those stormwater pipes in a similar fashion. And again, grouping them by age, doing a condition assessment on them kind of based on their age profile and their material profile, and then the count of the pipe material, which is a lot more consistent. We have a lot of PVC and then reinforced concrete pipe, but our storm system is typically much newer than our water and our sanitary system. So just kind of a snapshot of kind of the dashboards and the data that we're putting together. We'll continue to refine this data and build other data sets based on other infrastructure assets that we have. So what's next? Administration will continue to advance the asset management program to support the development of of an annual state of infrastructure report. Like I said, it'll be more of a preliminary report probably this year. We need to get a lot of condition assessments put together to really feed that report well. This will provide council a consolidated view of infrastructure condition, risk, and life cycle needs to support long-term planning, capital forecasting, and informed decision-making. A state of infrastructure reports that strive to answer questions like, what do we own? What's it worth? What condition is it in? What do we plan to spend? Versus what do we need to spend? So identifying the infrastructure gap, looking to plan for how do we close that infrastructure gap, what opportunities are available, for grant funding and those kind of things. And again, the first state of infrastructure report, now we intend to present to council kind of Q3, Q4, that happens in the fall, just to give council kind of a direct linkage between that infrastructure report and what we plan out for our capital budgeting. So with asset management, what can council expect? I think to summarize the outcomes of asset management, coupled kind of with that state of infrastructure report, council could expect improved visibility into infrastructure condition and risk to ensure reliable infrastructure that supports business confidence, community growth. We're going to look towards data-driven decisions that can increase accountability and transparency of the town's infrastructure planning. It can also help residents to understand how their taxes are used, right? A state of infrastructure report lets residents even dive into what does the town own? What does it have? What's it worth? Maybe a better, clear picture and a direct link to, what we're putting things away to reserves. What's it for? Well, it's for funding replacement and those asset renewals. Council will also expect more proactive infrastructure planning, reducing unexpected repair costs, and aligning capital investment with actual asset condition and risk. This approach enables more predictable budgeting and supports informed decision-making for future capital and operating plans. Just going to grab my mouse. And as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, Ethan's been working hard on developing a town-wide web map. Just wanted to come up perfect. So we're looking to we're working on a new website update, and we're hoping to get the town-wide web map up on the website as well. So it'll be a clickable link or embedded. I'm not sure exactly how we can manage that. Probably a clickable link that folks can then view information about the town. We'll have another internal one developed for staff as well, with more information, more direct information about infrastructure, properties and that kind of stuff. That will be just for internal use for staff. We're still working on some of the layouts and things like that. But essentially, this is one with the land use layers put on. I can zoom in here. And you can see it's got all the addressing, the land use layers. If you click on a property, Athabasca, if you click on a property, it's got street number, its link number, which is a land title number, lot number, block plan, and the parcel area. And so some of this information, especially the parcel area, it's been tough for town staff to determine parcel areas. It's not always listed in some of our other softwares. So this allows town staff or even residents to really spatially understand kind of what's going on in town. Be able to click on
That's
a
good.
parcel. So,
Yeah.
town services, we're still building out this feature a little bit too, but right now we've got kind of town snow clearing routes. So if you wanted to know, if you're on a priority route, we've kind of got a fuzzy little map at the back of our policy right now, which could probably be refined a little bit. But if you wanted to click on here, you can understand, your clearing routes. So if you're on Whitfield, you're a priority 3 until you get past the corner here, which is a priority 1 route. Harrison, of course, is a priority 2, a primary route. So adding information like that on. We've also developed, like I said, we've been doing asset inventory on parks infrastructure as well. And so kind of all the parks in town under the blue dots have been identified. But we can zoom into Amory Park and identify all the different assets and features and amenities at that park as well, right? We've got the community gardens over here. We've got the skating rink here. We've got a number of benches. There's the community fire pit. I think you guys even picked up the garbage cans. So you've got the garbage cans there. So you can zoom in on the park, see what amenities at, and for our staff, you can see what kind of assets are available as well. We have other layers too that this is more what we're looking to present towards the public as we refine it. But we have more internal information as well, including all the sanitary lines, water lines, and all that. And as we update that kind of in the office with new information, new builds, new development, new construction, that it's automatically updated on our field, our operations staff on their phones. So it's all linked together so that when they're out and about and we have a new line, that's automatically updated on their data as well. So just trying to integrate all that into web mapping, both for the public and for staff. So I think that mostly concludes our presentation. We're available for any questions. Ethan's going to take all the hard ones.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we just wanted to give council kind of a quick update where we were at, kind of with the asset management program and a little bit of the GIS side of things with kind of the web mapping and those pieces. So
Excellent. I know Ethan's been working hard because every time you come in the office, this is all you see in Ethan's office. He doesn't say a word except for maybe hi. He just works away. So thanks for your hard work, Ethan. We appreciate all the updates to the asset management. Questions from council?
To the chair.
Councillor Benson.
So will this help us kind of in the future in looking at some of the critical areas that we need to fix? Like just using Calgary as an example, like there was a thing on the internet today and it showed some of the assets were actually 1900 to 1910, you know, so would that help us kind of like, obviously that's got to help them in some of their decision making, right?
yeah, through the chair to Councillor Benson, the idea is to this asset management helps us proactively plan. And one of the first things is like, what do we own? And I think a lot of communities sometimes don't know exactly what they own. Ethan and our summer students spent a lot of time this summer going through a lot of old engineering drawings and old files and documentation actually. And we have maps up on the wall in our little breakout room in the office where we're just putting tags on the age of this infrastructure. So understanding that, we still have a water line from 1945, right? Like, let's keep an eye on that, right? Maybe we didn't know we owned that or operated that. So yeah, just really digging into like real basic, like what do we own? And then kind of going from there, right? To understand, its risk profile for breakages or service disruptions and things like that, and then prioritizing that with other infrastructure as well. So that's the idea, is to get an overall sense of what do we own, what's its risk, what do we need to prioritize and do next.
And it aligns with just to add to that, it aligns with our budget planning, our 10-year capital plan, all of those things, so we can plan better for the town and anticipate which assets need to come first.
To the chair, and the water line coming into town, is that assessed too, like for age? Where are we with that?
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Benson, the water line coming into town is the Mountain View Regional Water Service Commission's line. So they'll have their own, I'm just assuming they have their own asset management plan and program in place, right, to keep track of their line, its age, its condition, its rating, and things like that. So that's not necessarily the town's asset. Our asset starts on that line kind of once it comes into our reservoir, and then that reservoir building, the pumps and all the infrastructure in there is part of our asset. And that'll be part of this program eventually too. We'll start to dig into our facilities, right? Looking at our lift stations, our pumps, our wells and things like that. And what's the age and condition on those? When do they need to be replaced? Because those pumps also need to be replaced in the lift stations and the reservoirs and things like that. And they can be quite expensive as well. So make sure we plan for those assets.
Okay, any other questions from council?
Through the chair.
Councillor Brennan.
This map is pretty cool. I'm just curious, how big of a difference is there between the public one and the just staff one? And then what's the difference there?
You want to take that one?
There could be the information of the step that we share within a step would be not sharing with the public. So we'll keep it and those informations in our step and the members only. And then it's public is only to the public can see everything. So for underground utility lines only show to our staff and members. So it's and then there is show it as a public, and then it's just published as a public map, so we can everyone can see it.
Okay, so this would be an example of the not exactly publicly available version.
Yeah, it is public available. Yeah.
That was public.
Oh, this one is?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it won't show all the underground stuff, like all the
Oh, okay,
underground lines
just-
and sewer and
Just
water and.
it's leveled to then any, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and just further that through the chair to Councilor Brennan, we might show stuff, on the parcel such as ownership eventually, which helps staff quickly identify an owner of a parcel, which is information we have in another software.
Yep.
But we wouldn't, of course, have that as a public
Mhm.
piece of mapping, right? That'd go very much against FOIP regulations
Fair
or
enough.
PIPEDA or whatever the FOIP regulations are called now. So yeah, there's definitely some sensitive information that would just stay with staff. But there's some general information that we think would help improve kind of transparency for the public as well. So,
Yeah.
or even support the public in, I don't know, understanding how big your lot is. Something as simple as that is I think interesting to a lot of folks.
That'll be the first thing everyone looks at.
Yeah, and there's actually there's a great measurement tool in here, and you can measure snap and measure your frontage and things like that, right? So, yeah. So some of those tools being available to the public or, realtors or future proponents in the town and things like that for figuring that out. So.
Yeah, is this a map that, other than just doing measurements, can you put make your own map and put assets on there to show, like to visually show?
Capturing a map could be a member to have a license of the ArcGIS. You could edit and then you can add, but it could be
So more
has
for
to be-
internal.
yeah, internal. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Any other questions? No questions. Well, great job. We've been waiting for this for a long time. It's a lot of work and there's more work to come. But it's going to be, like Director Altina said, it does relate back to some grants. I know the province is big on everyone having an asset management program. So anytime we go and ask for money, we have to prove that we have some ownership too and that we're doing the right thing and looking after our assets. So this is a good step in the right direction. Thanks for your presentation.
Thank you.
Hey, who'd like to make a motion?
To the chair.
Councillor Benson.
I move that council receive this asset management program update for information and support administration's continued work towards completing the state of the infrastructure report, expanding the asset data sets and developing improved long-term infrastructure planning practices.
Hey, is there anybody opposed? That's motion carried. Okay. Councillor Business, item number 6. So again, Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your time off. I helped deliver Christmas hampers on December 19th. I think there was over 106 of them this year. So maybe not something we want to see, but it seems to be a need in the community. I helped the rodeo with their AGM and facilitated their board elections. I participated in the New Year's Eve fireworks. There's a lot of people there. Just a lot of skating, a lot of people hanging out. The fire was nice, hot chocolate there. Eris did a great job. And the fireworks were a little higher this year. It made a big difference for the community to be able to see it a little bit better. So really good job there. Participated in the CAO meetings. Met with the Golden Key Club president regarding their automatic doors and updating activities that they're doing. And then I recently, just yesterday, had a Mayor's Caucus executive meeting on Monday. We're going over next steps in our meeting with Minister Williams that we anticipate will be coming up here in the next month or so. We'll meet again on Thursday with the larger group. That was just the executive meeting. And we have now over 30 members representing the mid-sized towns, and we'll continue to try and get all 84 towns on board, or as many as we can. And that's my update. Deputy Mayor Gustafson.
Nothing further to report from my end.
Okay. And Councillor Benson.
I also went to the fireworks, job well done to the town staff. And that's it. Thank you.
Right, and Councillor Brennan.
I actually have nothing to report, but I did see the fireworks from my house, so that was cool.
Counselor Kosh.
Me and my family attended the New Year's celebration. My kids skated on the newly completed skating surface. Besides a few bumps, they looked fantastic.
Mhm.
Fireworks were great. That's all.
Counselor Knight,
Nothing further to report.
Counselor Nielsen,
I went to the fireworks as well and it was well attended. I loved it and very good fireworks. And shout out to Eris. She always does a great job and she's just hopping around there doing all the things. She does a great job.
excellent, thank you. Who would like to make a motion?
Through the chair,
Counselor Knight,
I move that the councilor's business be accepted as presented.
is anyone opposed? This motion carried. 7.1, outstanding action items list, CEO Barney.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. Before I move into the outstanding action list, there is one item that I would just like to bring to council's attention, just because of the timeliness of it. I was chatting with our CFO, Amber Ulett, a couple of days ago, and she noted that on January 2nd, the town applied our arrears to our property tax balances this year. The total applied was just over 37,000, which represents a 24% decrease compared to the penalties that were applied last year. So our efforts to be able to get greater compliance on the collection of our taxes is definitely working, and we're seeing some fantastic progress in that area.
Great job, Amber.
So as far as the outstanding action list, there are two items that we would see as deemed complete. That's 079 and 080. The only other item on here that sits in 2025 still is item number 041 relating to the Limit Avenue speed change. That is one that we are still looking for a response from the province on. We have it as a item on a upcoming meeting with the minister of one of the ministers, Minister Dreeshen. So we'll be having a discussion in relation to that. All the other remaining items sit in 2026, and those are the only changes required.
Any questions? Excellent. If there's no questions, who would like to make a motion?
Through the chair,
Deputy Mayor.
I'll move that items 079 and 080 be removed from the outstanding action items list.
Is there anyone opposed? That's motion carried. And that brings us to item 8, adjournment. Who would like to make a motion?
Through the chair,
Counselor Knight,
I move that the council meeting adjourn at 7:19 PM.
thank you.